Hello, good evening. How are you guys watching right there from your home? So, welcome to the evening show powered by AIESEC, channel partner Unwinding the Youth, media partner Orissa Shine, sustainability partner Dame and All, YSI, influencer partner Ken Folios. Welcome to another episode of the evening show powered by AIESEC. Now, today we have a very amazing speaker lined up for our third episode today, and I'm very excited, to get to know her and to understand what she has gone through her life and how was her entire experience up till now. And I'm really excited about what we are going to talk about today. It's going to be a really amazing episode, and I would recommend everyone to grab onto some snacks and just sit back, relax, and enjoy the episode. A lot of good things are coming your way today in the episode. So with that, I'd like to have a few comments from the viewers in the chat box below. Uh, one very strong moment where you felt your voice was being heard, where you felt that you were empowered. One strong moment in your life where you felt that you actually made a difference in your surroundings. Anything, it could be anything. Let's take up 1 minute and let's just put in some experiences from our viewers. Okay, hello to all the people who are saying hi. So yeah, we are waiting for a few experiences from our viewers. Yeah, people are typing. Okay, let's go to the chat quickly. People are waiting a long time. Hi Ayush, hi Ayushi, hi Yash, hi Pratyush, Supriya, the new comments. Okay, Rohit Singh says, when I got my first team, I felt that I was making an impact and my voice was being heard. Okay, that's really good, Rohit. It's a really nice experience from your side. Being at a leadership position is really impactful and empowering to people. Okay, if anyone else wants to share, we can take another input from our viewers, and then we'll just quickly welcome our speaker. Okay, hi Shivani, hi Atul, Kef, Yukta, such lovely people. Okay, so we'll just wait for a few more seconds. Fani Cyclone Relief Campaign when I was asked to speak to the village people along with few other volunteers. Okay, that's really good from our viewer Nikhar. So it's really good work. People helping people in need is a very good deed. And if you get to create awareness about how to create relief camps and how to better your lifestyle after such tragic things, it's really empowering. And I really I can really feel the energy that you might have during that time. So with that, I think we can start the live stream. Thank you so much, our viewers, for your very warm messages and great sharing. So now we are going to start with our episode. We are going to welcome our speaker, but I have one expectation from our viewers. When she comes on, I want you all to go crazy in the chat box, go crazy with all your welcome messages, hi, hello, whatever you guys want to share to our speaker Malavika today. So we can start off with the countdown. Let's bring her on in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Boom. Let's go. Hi Malavika.
Kapow!
Kapow. Great. Welcome Malavika. Welcome to the evening show powered by AIESEC. Can we
Thank
have
you.
can we have the welcome messages, guys, in chat? Welcome Malavika with your open hearts. Okay, people are pouring in with hellos. Are they? Okay, awesome. How are you doing, Malvika, today? How is your day
I'm
going?
doing very well. I'm doing very well. It's been an exciting day. Hi, Avantika. Yeah, it's
Avantika,
been a really
Arvind.
exciting day actually.
Okay, so where are you currently living right now? I think you're in Dubai, right?
I'm in Dubai. Yes.
What time it's there?
It's 5:35 p.m.
Okay,
One
it's
and a
just
half hours behind you
one
guys.
and a half hours behind the way. That's great. That's great. I think you are the first speaker we are hosting on the evening show who is an international resident. So that's
Dude,
really, yeah, it's true.
but I'm desi at heart. Does that count? I'm drinking chai.
Perfect, perfect. Cheers, cheers. Let's have a cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. Some branding we have to do. Okay, anyways, so yeah, welcome Malavika to the show. My name is Kaushik, as you know, and it's really good to have you on the show.
It's been
The pre-talks
here.
that we had, it was really amazing to know you, and I would really love to give my viewers the same kind of experience that I got talking to you. I was really amazed. And people, let me just tell you guys, you are going to have the best time of your life talking to Malavika and getting your questions answered. Is going to be mind blowing. I'm not exaggerating here. That's my true input, please.
You're very kind, Kaushik. Thank you so much. Thank you.
It's my pleasure, pleasure. Okay, cool. So let's quickly just get on with the show. So, first thing I'd like to know from you about your, early ages, when you were in college. Like currently, we are all in the college. We are all
Yeah.
college students in Bhubaneswar in different cities of India. So I'd like to know from you, how was your college experience? How was your school life? What kind of a student were you? Did you focus a lot on studies, or were you outdoorsy person? What kind of activities you did?
Yeah.
Anything from your side?
So when I was in school, I was pretty studious actually. No, it's not studious, but I really enjoyed studying and I really enjoyed writing exams and I really I enjoyed the process of learning, but I wasn't somebody who like sat with my books a lot. So I guess I was a little annoying to teachers. Who was Malvika in college? Oh yeah, let me tell you. So that was what school was like for me. I went to a school called National Public School in Indranagar, and this is in Bangalore. And this is a school that kind of known to put a lot of people into IITs and IIMs and all these engineering colleges. And so it was a super studious school. And I was one of those kids who just simply didn't fit the engineering format, and I was not interested in that stream of thinking at all. I really wanted to pursue the arts, and I wanted to pursue like media, economics, psychology, sociology, that kind of stuff. So in 10th grade, I left school instead of doing 11th and 12th, and I moved to college, and I went to Mount Carmel College. Yeah, and Mount Carmel College is an amazing college in Bangalore. My in the 5 years that I was in college, Faye D'Souza passed out of my college. Amazing journalist. Deepika Padukone was my classmate. Anushka Sharma was 1 year my junior. So I had a really epic college with some incredibly epic, outspoken, smart, independent, cool women. So yeah, there was inspiration all around.
I can see the same in you, like the kind of energy that you come up with. It's really good.
You're very kind, Kaushik.
Yeah. Star, you come from a star college, and so you're a star as well, right?
No. I mean, let me just tell you that it's by no means a star college. Okay, it's not like it's like
Oh,
super
okay.
cool and expensive and all that. Like I think the college fees was 300 rupees or something. Really,
What?
hardly anything like that. But it's
We can't get.
just a good college. It was just a good college with.
I don't think we can get anything at 300 rupees of worth now in the current times we're living.
It just
So
shows
much
how
of
old
inflation.
I am. There's no need to draw any attention.
No, that's not what I meant. Anyways, cool. So talking about your college life, like we are on our 2021, so we are all doing something or the other, internships and joining organizations like we are here with AIESEC as well. So
Yeah.
what kind of things you did during your college life? Were you a very studious person? How were your grades? Because mine are not good.
No, so I actually the reason that I took arts and the reason that I decided to move to college was because it would give me the opportunity to do a lot of stuff outside of college. And my family in general has been a family that's always supported working early, doing internships. So like my first job was when I was after my 8th grade vacations. I spent a couple of days doing not bookkeeping, what is that called? Stock taking in Higginbotham's bookstore. So that was the first salary that I earned. And then after that, when I finished 10th grade, I did an internship with a children's learning facility. And I learned a lot in that internship because I was doing all of the administration and stuff like that. And then I did an internship with an ad agency called McCann Erickson when I was like in 11th grade. And by 12th grade, I had started working. I was writing for the Hindu, which is the newspaper, and I used to do features for their supplements. So I used to like go to different places like restaurants and stuff like that and review it and write about it. So that was my job when I was in 12th grade. Then I did some really like unusual work, but I worked all the time. Like from as long as I remember, I've earned a living, and I've always had
Mm-hmm.
like my like money in my account because of the work that I do. So when I was in I think it was in first year degree, I was working for this company called EduComp, and we used to do like instructional design material, like education material for online learning, which
Mm-hmm.
is funny because 20 years later, this is what is holding me in good stead. In a
I
world
remember
of
having
online
Malvika, I
learning.
remember having EduComp in my school, like back when I was in grade 7th or 8th. They used to have this
No
big
way.
whiteboards. Yeah, yeah, I had them in my school as well.
If
Yeah,
you
it was
learned
some
addition,
next.
maybe that was my writing. Addition and multiplication.
Okay,
I learned.
okay, that could have been you. That could have been you. Like we used to enjoy those, virtual classroom. It used to just, like it just you look so next gen, and the whiteboards were amazing with those projectors.
Yeah,
EduComp was
we
there in
got
our
to do
school.
some really cool stuff there. And I remember like going to meetings with the Azim Premji Foundation and stuff like that. So there's a lot of good work. I mean, at a very young age, I was exposed to companies that were doing good, but they weren't just doing good, they were doing good efficiently. So that was important.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had some very strange jobs. Like I was an assistant to a PhD student who was studying dowry
Okay.
related crimes in India. So I remember there was actually a phase of my life where I used to go every Friday and Saturday to Bangalore Central Jail, and I used to
Wow.
interview all of these guys who had been put in jail for like dowry related crimes.
Uh
It was
huh.
very scary. In retrospect, I do wonder why was my mother not like worried about me. And then when I was 18 was the first radio job that I got. Yeah. So I mean, after a
Okay.
string of really strange jobs, I got into radio at the age of 18, 19. Yeah.
Wow, those are some really, really, you know, intriguing experiences. Like, I don't think so. I've done anything, as compared to that level till date. Like, apart from joining a few organizations in my college, like I used to be just from home tuition school. That's it. That would be my life. And you have done so much starting from your 8th grade. That is some really, really, empowering things.
I mean, for all the young people out there, I strongly recommend this. Right, like I really, really think it's important to get internships in as soon as possible, because you can study what you want in school. When you're thrown into the workplace, it's really whether like, are you responsible, are you resourceful, are you able to get the job done, are you able to like talk to people, and are you able to connect with people, and are you able to navigate this
Mm-hmm.
thing called office. Yeah.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
and be able to make it somewhere and do
Mm-hmm.
work that's meaningful. And I think that's a really important experience. So as young as you are, I mean, I'm of the opinion that that all kids in 8th and 9th grade should start working and should start doing work, because that's what
Yeah.
really prepares you for the
Mm-hmm.
real world.
It'll make them more like it'll make us more independent. Like coming future will be a bit better for us itself, right?
Yeah, and then you when you come out of college at 21 and 22, then you already have 5 years of experience, so you don't have to waste that 5 years making mistakes, figuring out you don't like this or that, or
Mm-hmm.
you've already tasted it in college, and then you know that, okay, for me advertising was not my thing. Like I remember doing that internship at McCann Erickson, and I
Mm-hmm.
remember thinking, no, this is not my cup of tea. Like what I thought advertising was and what it ended up being were very different things, and it was not my scene. So in that way it kind of like helps you get a taster menu of all the work that's out there. Yeah.
The practical experience, yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
That's true. Okay,
practical.
I'll just make it a bit thoda sa serious over here. Now,
Huh.
you being a girl child in a family, and yeah, like you mentioned earlier, your parents were very supportive. But how does the general society see it? Like you went to different offices at such young ages, and you met such important people. You went to jail at such like not went to jail, jail.
Okay, okay. Let's call it that. I did not go to jail.
No, you went to interview people to jail. So like how did the society perceive it? Because that time the entire mentality would have been different, and even though women have to really struggle to get into good places, right? So a bit
Yeah.
idea on that thing.
So I mean, to begin with, my family was extremely supportive. I've also come from an extremely feminist family, a bunch of extremely independent thinkers. My mother's like going to turn 70 next year, right? And even she started working when she was in uh, first year of college. So to us, it's always been an obvious thing that you're going to work. and that you're going to have to then, I mean, if you go to work, you've got to take a bus and you've got to take an auto rickshaw, and you're not going to have a private driver chauffeur you back and forth, because I didn't come from that kind of family where we had a car and a driver and that kind of stuff. So I don't remember being cognizant of it. Like I wasn't watching out for it. I guess, I mean, there was some awkwardness because I was a young woman going into workplaces. So I think there was a little bit of an adjustment that it took from people at the workplace when they looked at me and when I looked at the workplace. But eventually, I couldn't have been asked. I was like, whatever, it's your problem.
Yeah, very true. So somewhere down the line comes to the person's mentality who is going to work, to remove those blockings from their mind and then work, right? Because if the person itself is conscious, and then that work doesn't happen, right?
No, I mean, it's much easier said than done, right? And I think I had like my sister to look up to, and I had my mom to look up to. So in those ways, I was already trained in some of the social aspects of entering the workplace. Like I had already seen my sister going to work, so I kind of knew what the language and the vocabulary was of the workplace. So it's a little bit easier on me in that sense. So I mean, I shouldn't take entirely like the credit for it, but also I was too charged about the work that I was doing to be really like feeling, I don't know, should I be, shouldn't I be? I didn't have room for that in my life. Like I just wanted to
self-doubt. That's good. That's really, really rare in people to have self-doubt and be self-aware at such an early age. Wow, that's great. Okay, so I'll move this question ahead, and let's talk about the time you got into radio. So you spent a huge amount of time in the radio industry, right? So how was that? Like, what kind of experience you had? And if you would be if you would like to share a very inside story that you might have not shared with anyone till date, it'd be really great for viewers as well.
Yeah, so I joined radio when I was 18 and a half, 19 years old. So I used to, it all started when I was in college, and I was, they have those talent shows like Miss Mount Carmel and, those kind of talent shows. So one of the radio presenters from Radio City, Bangalore, his name is Darius, was actually a judge at one of these college events, right? And then I met him right after the contest, and I said, hey, I'm interested in doing some voiceovers. Can I come to the radio station? He said, yeah, sure. And so I went and I dropped my voice sample off. And for a couple of months, I kind of did work without really getting paid or getting paid a real pittance. But I would like make the effort to take the local bus and go to the radio station and then wait there and give my voice sample and come back. And I just did it because I was so fascinated by going to this office. I mean, I don't know how many of you have had the chance to go to a radio station, but it's got this cool vibe about it, You sit in the reception and you see all these people who you've been tuning into, and you're like, oh my God, that's Rohit Parker, and oh, that's so-and-so, and that's Priya, and I've heard her voice. And so I was really curious about that stuff. And then I did that. And then one of the presenters who was doing the late night show had decided to move to another network and another station. So I decided to do an audition, and I just landed the job. It was really as simple as that. Yeah. I just landed the job.
Got the right opportunity at the right time.
The right opportunity at the right time, the right introductions at the right time. The right people in my life suggested that I go and do this at the right time. So yeah, I was really lucky. I got that job when I was 19 and I was still in college. So I used to do radio I used to do college during the day I used to get to college at like 8:30 or 9 in the morning, attend lectures from 9 o'clock to 4 o'clock. Then I used to take a bus and go to the radio station. And then I used to hang out there in the evening to do whatever prep work I needed to. And then 9 o'clock, I would be live on air. And then I would finish the show by midnight. And then I would go back home and then go to sleep and wake up the next morning and be at college. So it was a full-blown.
It was very packed. Very packed. Yeah. Wow. This would be how many years ago?
2005, 2006.
Okay. And that time you were going out, working late nights. That's really, really cool. That's really cool. And managing college as well.
Yeah. I mean, Bangalore in that sense has always been a bit more of an open city like that. So, it's a nice city to live in and work in. But yeah, I mean, there was a time that I remember we actually had a security guard with a gun who used to stand outside the radio studios because at the time there was some political stuff going on. And people were scared that they would like come and riot and cause trouble for me. and there was some weird stalker who would like follow me around. But in spite of all that, I still continued to do the job.
Wow, it would have been really like a pressure or sort of, and to overcome that, it's really brave to do something like that in spite of all the external factors banging from all over. That's
It was
really
a
cool.
fun job. It was a fun job. I moved from Radio City Bangalore to another radio station called Radio Indigo, and then from there I was poached by the radio station that I worked with for 12 years here, which is City 1016.
In
And
Dubai.
yeah, in Dubai. And that was really something. Because when I joined the radio station here in Dubai, I joined as a weekend breakfast presenter. To explain that to you, like weekend breakfast is the lowest of the low. Like,
Okay.
in terms of like listenership, it's not prime time by any means. I was lucky enough, and I got the right opportunities at the right time. I guess I was able to do the right effort at the right time to make it to breakfast, and then I hosted the breakfast show for a decade.
Wow, that might have been really big struggle. Like the initial days obviously are a big struggle, but then as you go ahead, it gets better and better, right?
The initial days were a struggle being in Dubai because it's difficult. You're an expat. You come from a city like Bangalore where you always have your parents to fall back on, and there's always mom and dad's house, and you don't have to worry about rent. And when you're hungry, there's always food in the fridge because you have a cook and a
Yeah.
all
Who's
that
always
kind of,
cooking there?
yeah.
All the privileges.
When you live alone in a city like Dubai, it can get quite lonely, and it can get a little difficult also financially, because in the beginning, you're multiplying everything by 12 and 18 and 20, and you're thinking, oh my God,
Yeah.
this is crazy, and why am I spending this kind of money? And so all those things are there, those adjustment factors when you move out of the country for the first year or so. But then I found a great family in my workplace, and so that was really fantastic.
That's great.
A real blessing.
Lucky for you. So, like you've been in the radio industry for 18 years. Like some of your highlighting moments, some really amazing things that you never expected would happen with you. If you could, share
I
something
got
like
to meet a lot of really wonderful people. Of course, I got to meet a lot of the Bollywood stars. So I got to do a lot of interviews with the Shah Rukh Khans and the Salman Khans and Amir and all the directors that I really look up to. So that was really cool. I interviewed A.R. Rahman twice, which I must say is a career highlight by any stretch. Earlier last year was it? Or earlier this year? Last year. I'm not sure. I got to host an A.R. Rahman concert at this huge venue called the Coca-Cola Arena. I think a career highlight would be we were on stage at a place called the Global Village in Dubai, and we had a crowd of 130,000 people. And when Shah Rukh Khan came to the city, and this was early last year. So I mean, those are huge moments. I got to interview Sachin Tendulkar and APJ Abdul Kalam, and I got to be on the first ever metro ride of the city. I was there at the launch of a lot of iconic Dubai moments. To be part of those media campaigns is a big privilege. Those were kind of cool.
Your life is just like a big wow for me. And I think for all the viewers going in the comments, it's just wow after wow. People saying you lived their life dream or something like that. It's really crazy. The kind of experience you have had is really, it all adds up to one another. The kind of the way you started at 8th grade, and then it adds on to 12th, then it adds on to college, and then you move to Dubai. I think even for Indians right now, it's a big dream to go out and live a life in foreign and have a steady job there. So it's all been just piling up just because the kind of person you are. I guess
it's been good. But having said that, it's not what I aimed to do. I just aimed to do a good job of what I was doing that day, and that I think is one thing that really held me. That held me in good stead. Whatever I was doing, I did it because I was interested in doing it. I didn't do it because I wanted a stable career or I wanted to be on stage with this person, or I just wanted to be a good radio presenter. I just wanted to create, and I just wanted to do a good job and be known for being someone who's honest and who does hard work and who speaks her mind, and who's not someone who I mean, my boss actually kind of always told me, she said, Malavika, when mothers see you, they should say that I want my daughter to grow up and be like Malavika. And if you're not doing work that represents that, then, start questioning what you're doing.
That's very true. That's very true. Interest come first, rather than what you need to do. Like the interest should be that the spark should be there to actually do it. Then we are
Yeah, you have to
100%.
love
Yeah,
it. You just have to
that's
love it.
very
You have to wake up thinking about it, and that's
no,
nice. Yeah.
that's really nice. That kind of motivation, actually is a big problem in the kind of world we are in, the kind of generation we are actually going in. So that's something to worry about. Maybe a topic for another day. So moving ahead with the episode today. So currently, as we talked earlier, you are working in Dubai, helping children to develop themselves as people, as person, to grow, become better individuals. So why don't you share your experience and what you have been doing with our viewers today?
Okay, so I've been a radio presenter for a very long time. Two very dear friends of mine. So I've also been doing theater for a really long time, right? So I was introduced to stage when I was in school, and ever since then, I've always had a love for going on stage, whether that's public speaking or drama. I've really loved acting and being on stage, being under the lights. About 6 years ago, two very dear friends of mine decided to start a performing arts studio where I used to teach as a drama teacher for a couple of years. And then they decided to move out and they were looking for people to buy the business over. So in early 2019, I bought over the Hive. So the Hive is the name of my performing arts studio. It's in Dubai, which is like this lovely little community, very desi kind of neighborhood in Dubai. And we have about 350 students who see us every week for drama and public speaking classes, and we help them overcome stage fright and understand empathy and become better on stage and understand stage presence, become good public speakers and stuff like that. Yeah. So I've been doing that for the last year and a half now. And in as of the 1st of April, this is my full-time job. So I quit primetime radio so that I could pursue my entrepreneurial dreams
Wow, you're
and
living your dream.
managing the ship. Yeah.
That's really good. So you're completely independent. You don't have any strings attached. You're your own boss.
Yeah, I am well, that's one way of putting it. Am I my own boss? No. My boss are the kids.
Okay, yeah,
And my
yeah,
kids.
definitely.
Yeah, they are my bosses. Like I better get my act together because I've got to keep that ship afloat, right?
It's very important. Yeah, yeah. Many people, tend to like, get this out of mind. Like when they start their own business, they tend to think they are the best, and nothing's above them. But then actually, the people who made them at that point, people tend to forget that, right? You're getting
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah. And especially because so much of I mean, this is again a lesson in leadership that I've learned this last year and a half, right? A lot of decisions actually come down to the way you manage things. So if you're the captain of the ship and you're steering it badly and you go and crash into something, remember that all those people who put their lives at stake,
Mm-hmm.
they're depending on you. They are staying away from their families so that you can do the job, so that you can make the profit, so that you can
Yes.
claim to be this great entrepreneur. And then if you act irresponsibly and crash their dreams, then that karma is on you.
Very, very true. Very
Yeah.
true. So, currently the hive that you are, working on. So, what is the aim of it, and what kind of change you're seeing in the children that you're working with,
Oh, we
and
see a
why do you feel
tremendous
it is necessary?
change. It's very, very important, Kaushik, because I mean, how many kids do you know? How many people do you know who have wonderful ideas, who are extremely creative, but they're just not able to articulate those ideas? They're not able to talk about the work that they do. They're not able to communicate with other people. It's so, so, so important to be able to learn how to communicate. That's number one. And number two, if you take the world's biggest problems and designing the most important solutions, it all comes down to empathy, right? And what is empathy? Empathy is understanding that I may not be in the exact same situation as you right now, but I get where you're coming from. I can see the similarities between your story and mine. And therefore, it is worth my time and energy and effort to be able to fix it. So these are like extremely important things for children to learn. And I don't think that enough focus is being given to it in schools. In a classroom of 40, how often do you get a chance to stand up and go in front of the school and talk, or have an audience, or get on a mic? And by the time you actually start doing it, you're in your 20s and 30s and you've got so much of stage fear, and that it's really holding you back in your career, right? So it's super, super, super important.
Hello, is there network issue?
You there, Kaushik?
Hello, am I audible?
I can see
I'm
you.
here. I think there was some network issue. Oh, that's perfect. Okay, cool. Yeah, so yeah, I really got your points that you were saying about. So it really comes down to the way people express, and it's really missing in the children. So the
Yeah.
Hive is actually trying to help them and get a platform where they are confident about themselves. It's really
Yeah.
that's really important.
But they
Like
don't
even
say
I
it. I
remember.
mean, yeah, go ahead, Kaushik.
Yeah, go ahead. Yes, I was
Like
just
it's
saying.
so
Like
important
even I
for
remember back
them.
in school, I used to be very quiet, and
Yeah.
there's some network issues, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, when you're worried about
Hello,
going
am I
on
audible?
stage, and when you're worried about you know being able to present your ideas, it can really feel like an enormous disability. I was just reading yesterday that 73% of the world has stage fright.
Hmm.
That's crazy, right?
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
So that was the theme for today, right? The power of words, and I think the Hive is really doing an amazing job with enabling children in the country and in Dubai to have the voice that is really required. And I
Hmm.
really hope Hive has different centers all around the world so that students all around the world, children all around the world, get that opportunity to get that platform to actually showcase
Absolutely.
themselves and get that confidence.
Absolutely.
That'd be
Fingers
a really
crossed.
really boost. So I think we can definitely we'll be looking forward to Hive in India as well.
Yeah.
So I think we can start off with the Q&A sessions from
Sure.
our audience. They are really excited to ask you questions. So can we have the first question displayed?
What were the three
Okay,
pillars
what
for
were
me
the three pillars to prosper
prosper
in
from
India?
where you started? Okay, so the three pillars for me would be number one, a very strong work ethic. Like I think that comes from my parents. It was drilled into us that at no point should anyone ever question your integrity. It's really important to do honest work. Like never accept money under the table, never be involved in any kind of scam, or if you see something dishonest around you, then you don't associate with it, because that's not the kind of work you want to be seen doing. The second is to do work that has some kind of meaning for you. I think it's really important. I feel like my parents and their parents worked really hard doing very normal jobs. Like my mother was worked in a bank, okay, and my dad worked in the publishing business. And for years, our families have worked really hard to bring us to where we are today. So not so that we can just do another job we don't like, just to
Mhm.
buy another car and a bigger house and a house with a swimming pool and a all that junk. Like I feel like we've come so far, we might as well be doing work that we love and work that matters and work that's going to change the world, and that is so important to me. And the third is to always be humble and to know that you are where you are, and you're able to do what you do because there is a higher power that's looking out for you. And it's not that you fought this battle on your own. It's because hundreds and thousands of people fought this battle before you, and many people pray for you. That's why you are where you are today.
Wow, that's really important. I hope Sneshi that helps you with your question. Can we have the next question? How do you manage to stay so amazingly grounded and easy to approach after reaching several career milestones? It's inspiring.
Hey, you're so sweet. Thank you. I don't I don't really see myself as being grounded. I just am who I am. I surround myself with real people who have I'm not a fan of a lot of the shosha stuff. you know uh, i I spend my time with people who are good and kind human beings, and who tell me the truth. They tell me when I'm messing up, and they tell me when I'm doing something stupid. And I think that is really important, to keep yourself, like my parents, for example. My mother will be the first to criticize if I do some rubbish work. She'd be like, what was that work that you did? It was really nonsense. My sister is my biggest critic. Like
Hmm.
she's got some pretty high standards, dude.
Hmm. It's really important to have good critics who are honest, like on the face.
Yeah. And I know that, like, when my mom and my sister say that some work is good, that means it's really good. And they thought, like, when my sister shared my TEDx talk, I was like, okay, so then it must be okay. I guess it must be.
Like there are millions of views on the talk, right? It definitely ought to be really good.
Yeah, 15 million and counting. Fingers crossed.
Oh, that's great. I think it will get a few more millions in the coming years. Okay, so unwinding the youth. Actually, we have this is our third episode today, and we have got one common word, that is empathy, as it's mentioned in the chat as well to our viewers. So we have hosted 3 talks till now, and the one common, and 3 are from corporate background, right? And you're
Yeah,
also posting your dream. So something that is common in all 3 episodes is empathy. We have heard it a lot of times. So it's really nice to see, and it's really eye-opening that the kind of transformational shift we are coming. That empathy
yeah,
is really important in all the fields that we are. Like without
yeah,
empathy, what can we do? It's just robots. Like if we don't see the kind of people we are with, we don't see how they feel. So even you are working in empathy field, I believe, because you're helping so many children develop themselves. It's really, really
yeah.
empowering as well.
Yeah. I'm of the belief that all things scientific and mathematical, all things that can be reduced to a formula, are going to
Mm-hmm.
eventually be replaced by systems. You
Mm-hmm.
know, it's going to
Yeah.
eventually be replaced by a circuit board and a robot. The really
Mm-hmm.
unique thing that human beings are able to bring to the table is creativity, right? It's empathy. It's having emotions. When you tell
Very.
someone, don't be such a robot about it, it means that you don't have emotions. And to
Mm-hmm.
be raising a generation of children who are not in touch with their emotions is really ill equipping them for the future, right? Because in
Mm-hmm.
their future, robots are going to be doing everything, and the one
Everything.
thing that they're going to need to know is emotions. They're going to need
Mm-hmm.
to know how they feel and how other people feel and how to feel what other people feel, and it's so important for them to embrace that,
Very
and to
truly.
know how to work with it and know how to deal with it and know how to understand it. So yeah, to me,
Mhm.
empathy is by far the most important thing in the world.
That's right. Right. Said robots are going to take over the world one day. That's going to be very difficult for everyone.
And if we want to stay relevant, we better not be afraid of our emotions. I mean, we
Yeah.
better know what it means to be sad and to see another person be sad or be happy or be excited or be confused or be going through grief, or these are important things. We can't run away from it.
Yeah. That's really, really
You
true.
know.
Yeah. So can we have 2 more questions, and then yeah, I have a question. What was that one passion you gave up for the professional life you chose for yourself?
Hey, that's actually Mrinal. The amazing thing was I chose a profession where even if I didn't have a passion, I had to create a passion to be interesting. Because like in the world of being a radio jockey, I used to like sing. I did a whole lot of drama, theater, get on stage. We used to dance a lot. So actually, all the things that otherwise people consider hobbies was converted into a professional act for us. So I had the opposite problem. I had to actually protect my hobbies from the workplace and say, no, 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 this I won't tell anybody about, because otherwise, next thing you know, I'll be doing a show about it and it'll be on stage and I'll have to do an endorsement about it. Or, yeah. A
And here we are.
little bit of an ulta situation, actually.
That's really good. Okay. So can we have next question? Eugene, how to figure out when it is the right time to do the right thing? Things can go sideways very soon, and how do you deal with them? It's very important.
Ayush, this was actually. I mean, I have a difficult time making decisions even today. I find it tough because I'm the kind of person who overthinks a lot, and I'm sure a lot of you face that as well. Should I do this? Shouldn't I do this? When I was taking the decision to buy over the business and to make a transition. See, for me, for my family, no one's ever been in business, right? Everybody's always been an employee and they've always had a salary come to their account. For me, it was a very big decision for me to make that transition and say, okay, I'm going to take the risk of buying over a business. And I felt at that time really torn because I was like, what am I doing? Should I? Shouldn't I? Is it a good time? Is it the right time? Like, what if I buy the business and then the markets just tank and then everything goes down the drain, and the fear is always there, right? But one has to I think to spend a lot of time in silence and to spend a lot of time like it may sound like mumbo jumbo, but meditating, like connecting with yourself. When you start doing that, you start hearing your own intuition, and your intuition is a lot more powerful than you give it credit for. What you feel in your gut and what your gut is telling you is the truth. It's what the universe has been trying to tell you. So it's important to be able to spend some time with yourself and really understand. And then when you listen to yourself, you know that, okay, this is not the right person for me, or this is not the right thing for me, or this is not the right job for me. And the world may tell you otherwise, but your gut is never wrong.
Okay, self introspection. I think that's what you were going on with, right?
There is, there are two kinds of introspection. There's a kind of introspection where you're going round and round in chakkars in your own head, because you're like, should I, shouldn't I, should I, shouldn't I, should I, shouldn't I, should I, shouldn't I, go on forever and ever. And then there's just sit in silence and just listen to your own heart. Just listen to what your intuition is telling you to do. And those are two very different things. You can rile yourself into a hamster wheel of thinking very easily, and I know that feeling.
Risks are important, right? Risks are important.
Yeah, risks are important. We need to encourage more people to take risks. Actually, we need to encourage more young women to take risks. I feel like boys are taught to take a risk very early on in their lives. Nahi beta, jump, kuch nahi, aa jao. You hear that. Whereas girls are always taught to, please, come on, smile wider, look pretty. See,
Very
she's
true.
so sweet, she's so nice. She never does it. This being nice and being liked is a load that we lay on our young girls, and we don't teach them to just risk it. And it's okay. So what? You'll make a mistake. Yeah, you'll make a mistake.
Yeah,
So
that's how you learn.
yeah, big
That's
deal.
very
You make a mistake, and we'll love you at the end of it anyway. So that's
Oh,
important.
wow, that's a really strong message. Okay,
Yeah.
can we have the next question on screen, please? There are a lot of questions today. I think it's going to go till midnight. Many students nowadays miss their classes and work externally. What advice would you want to give to them?
Oh wow. It's all about balance. Yeah. You've just got to be able to find the right balance and try to do everything. I know sometimes it can be very overwhelming. It's easier said than done. I'm just this girl on a screen right now, telling you that, oh, you got to find the balance and pay attention to your studies also, but work also. I think an education system, right, like school or college or whatever, is only as important as what you want to absorb from it. So figure out early on what's important and figure out what it's okay. Like, to give you an example, in my 5 subjects in college, okay, I was really good at psychology, I was really good at economics, I was moderate at sociology, and I failed in Sanskrit many times because that was the language I chose. But I was pretty sure I didn't need it in my lifetime. So to hell with it. It's okay.
That's not really important.
I would rather substitute the time that I spent studying that subject with doing work that would actually matter in the long run. Having said that, I do believe that no learning goes waste. Like, I feel like all those little things that you learn along the way, they do help you somewhere, somehow. You just don't know it right now, but whatever you're learning will find a way to come back to you. It's like that, the Steve Jobs story about how he took a lesson in calligraphy.
Yeah.
So Steve Jobs took a lesson in calligraphy, right? And that is such an iconic part of the Apple story, is the way that the text is written and the way that the keyboard looks.
Yes.
Yeah. So you never know. You never know what. I mean, who takes a calligraphy lesson?
I took
right? And you don't know. It's all this retrospective wisdom that you will gain, Like, I keep thinking about this internship that I did after 10th grade. After 10th grade, I was not even 15 years old, and I was helping run the administration for a children's learning center summer camp. But that is one of the most important jobs I did, because today when I'm running my own space, I already know how to make an invoice. I already know how to bill things. I already know how to structure classes. I understood multiple intelligence theories while I was there. So those things, you never know what you're doing now and how it'll pan out and how it's going to help you in the future. So
very true, very true. So it's all about getting all the kind of experiences and filtering what is important, what is not, right?
Absolutely. It's about giving yourself enough varied experience so that you have a vocabulary to express what your true life's purpose is.
That's really
it may be cooking, it may be skiing, it may be trekking, whatever the thing is. You don't know how that's going to make you better at what you're meant to do in the long run. Does that make sense?
Yes. It definitely makes sense.
Yeah.
I hope our viewers get that, thinking as well, and they have a really good time after this episode to think about it. Can we have, do we have more time? Can we have another question if we have? Okay. How do you manage to stay connected to your emotions after a serious burnout like how it's possible, like how it's possible.
Oh, wow. I don't know if I had a burnout. Actually, in retrospect, I wonder if I did. No. I don't think I burnt out, but I think I was pretty close to. And I think that I was very lucky that the people around me kind of recognized that I was working too hard because I mean, I have worked really hard in my lifetime. I think there's the one thing that I know I can say confidently. I'm one of the hardest working people I know. But I also recognize that, okay, there comes a point when you cannot pour from an empty cup.
Mm-hmm.
If you've only had 5 hours of sleep and you don't have time to consider what food you're putting into your body, when you don't have time to like call the people you love and talk to them on a daily basis because you're too stressed trying to figure and match and multitask and balance all these things, you know that eventually you're draining from this cup. You're draining
Mm-hmm.
from your cup, right? And you cannot pour from an empty cup. And that's wisdom that I only received this year. And I am so
Wow.
glad I received it because I am a happier person today than I've ever been because I get to wake up in the morning, I get my time to do yoga or work out or sit on the balcony and drink a cup of coffee. I get to chat with my parents, I get to speak to my sister, I get to read a little bit and then start my work at 9:30. And I still work 12 hours a day, but at least it's not 16 hours.
Uh-huh. So you have
and
like 26 hours in a day, right? So you spend like that time, that amount of time in one day, right?
yeah, it's so important and it's sad, but you as I think especially as young people we are trained to believe that it's all about the hustle and push it and don't stop until you gain what you want, and you know it's all about the hard work and put it in and push harder and break your bones if that's what it means. And then at some point you realize, like, look, at the end of the day, as long as you're working for somebody else, and even if you're working for yourself, you're just a number.
Uh-huh. That's
You're
true.
just a number, really. You're just a number on somebody's Excel sheet. So take care of yourself first. When
That is
you
very
die,
important.
people are not going to remember how your PowerPoint presentation was nice. They're going to remember whether you were holding your friend's hand when they were sick, or whether you were there for the people you loved, or whether you made an impact in another human being's life. And it's so important to remember that.
Wow, that's so touching. So I think we'll run out of time in in some time. So final message, like the for the topic of the episode, that was power of words, so, and the kind of work you are doing with Hive. So small message on how the power of words can actually help people to our viewers.
Yeah, I think the important message, and I hope that I'm able to uh, really let this sink in to everybody who's watching and to everybody who will watch. The words are only they're only the carrier of what your message is, right? It's far more important to feel. And
Mm-hmm.
if you're I think a lot of people I've met in my lifetime, they are too conscious about, oh my god, my language is not correct, or my sentence structure is not fast, like amazing, or I don't have screen presence, or all of this doesn't matter. I feel like at the end of the day, if you have a good heart, like if you feel something, if you truly truly feel it and you want to communicate it to the world, don't bother about the rest of it. All that is trainable, all that is perception, all that is makeup. You've got to have something to say, and you've
Mm-hmm.
really got to you've got to figure out what it is that you have to say to the world, and you've got to
Mm-hmm.
make sure that you say it. Whatever
Wow.
your true calling is, whatever your true message is that you have to carry out into the universe, you've got to do it. So don't let a language, or the way you dress, or the way you look, or the size of your nose, or the your surname, or which city you're born in change that. Because really, on a global platform, more and more we're starting to understand that nobody really cares.
That's so
Nobody
true. I'm
cares.
just I'm having all sort of goosebumps right now. It's so inspiring. Wow, that was so powerful, and that was so motivational. I'm sure our viewers today loved the episode, and it's the second time we're having this conversation, and it's still like it gives me goosebumps talking to you. Thank you
You're
so
very
much.
fantastic.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much. Thank you so much for
Thank you.
being there with us today. It was really, really wonderful, and it was a pleasure to host you.
Thank
And
you.
thank you, viewers, for joining us today for the evening show, episode 3. And with that, and with a sad heart, I would like to bid goodbye to Malavika. Thank you so much for being there. It was like, I can't just say it's wonderful. I hope we talk ahead in the future also.
Absolutely, absolutely. And please reach out to me. I'm like on Instagram, and my email address is out there. So if there's any way that I can help bring your voice to the fore, if the power of your words needs a little bit of an engine push, you need a little bit of an ignition key.
Yeah.
Reach out to me. I am happy to help in any way. In any way.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It was, it means a lot coming from you, and I'm really glad our viewers enjoyed so much. They're all pouring in the chat with the thank you messages. So I guess that is it. This is goodbye then for today. Thank you so much, everyone, for attending today's session, and thank you so much again, Malavika. It was lovely hosting you.
It was lovely. Thank you, guys. Thank you. You're too kind.
I think we have had too much of thank yous. It's too much of sweetness. Okay, then. So it's good night.
Good night.
Okay, and we end.